Hello, my name is Eric Christensen. I am a research director at the Harvey L. Neiman Health Policy Institute. I'm going to be speaking to you today about a study my colleagues and I have done related to the No Surprises Act. The No Surprises Act was put in place to protect patients from the financial harm that comes from surprise medical bills. Surprise medical bills occur when a patient unknowingly receives care from an out-of-network provider. For example, a patient may go to an in-network facility, but not all of the care they receive will be from clinicians who are in-network. This most commonly occurs for anesthesiology, emergency medicine, neonatology, hospitalists, intensivists, laboratory, pathology, and radiology. This occurs as the care these specialists provide is driven by or occurs in association with other care. In these circumstances, the NSA limits patients' cost sharing to the cost sharing of their plan. Hence, patients are financially protected. That patients are protected is not controversial and has been broadly welcomed by policymakers, providers, and payers alike. What remains to be determined is the amount that the out-of-network clinician will receive from the insurer for care covered by the No Surprises Act. As a starting point, the insurer pays the clinician a qualified payment amount, or QPA, which is the median of the in-network rate. Another study found that the mean in-network rate is 14% higher than the QPA. When a clinician determines that the amount they receive from the insurer is insufficient, they can enter into open negotiation. Should those negotiations fail to reach a resolution, the No Surprises Act provides an independent dispute resolution process, or IDR, to allow for the resolution of these claims that reach a payment determination. This process, however, is costly. Each party must pay an administrative fee. This fee has been fluid and changed much over time. In 2022, this fee was $50. In 2023, it was $350 before being vacated by a court and reset to $50. In 2024, this fee is $115. In addition to the administrative fee, the losing party must pay an entity fee to the entity that adjudicates the claim. These entity fees have increased over time from $200 to $500 in 2022 to $200 to $1,173 in 2024. Given this fee structure, the expected IDR cost of entering the process is $173 to $455. Hence, if a clinician does not at least expect to recover this amount, the IDR process is not a financially viable option for them. The IDR process does allow for the bundling or batching of like claims for efficiency. 2023 batching rules allowed for claims to be batched if they had the same billing code with modifiers, and they came from the Safe Health Plan, and they occurred within a 30 business day period. Our analysis found that the average batch would include 3.1 claims across the 8 specialties in our study. For radiology specifically, this figure is 2.2 claims. The maximum a clinician could expect to recover from the IDR process is the difference between their charges and the qualified payment amount. If they were to recover this full amount, we found that the IDR process would be financially viable for 57 to 74% of claims because the clinician would recover at least enough to cover their IDR costs for those claims. This recovery amount, however, is not realistic as it is akin to balance billing. As the data on actual recovery amounts is not available, we modeled the financial viability of the IDR process, assuming clinicians were able to recover 1/2 or 1/4 of the difference between charges and the QPA. If they were able to recover 1/4 of the difference, we found that for 35 to 52% of claims when batched, the clinicians would generate enough payment recovery to at least cover their IDR costs. In other words, for 1/2 to 2/3 of claims, the IDR process would not be a financially viable option for clinicians. For radiologists specifically, the IDR process is financially less viable than it is for clinicians overall. For example, if radiologists were to recover the full difference between charges and the QPA, they would at least break even for 20 to 41% of claims. As noted previously, such recovery is not realistic. Assuming a more realistic recovery of 1/4 of this difference between the charges and the QPA, radiologists would at least break even between 11 and 22% of claims. In other words, the IDR process would not be financially viable for 3/4 to 9/10 of claims for radiologists. An implication of the lack of financial viability of the IDR process is clinicians' loss of bargaining power in contract negotiations, because clinicians can no longer use the threat of out-of-network rates to bring insurers to the bargaining table. As the QPA has been shown to be less on average than in-network rates, they have no leverage. Finally, we note that the 2023 batching rules have been vacated by courts. New batching rules have been proposed but are not yet final. Our study can serve as a benchmark when considering the efficacy of future IDR cost and batching rules and how they play out for the financial viability of the process for clinicians.